Hey, what's going on, everybody? Goldizzy is here, bringing you my Night of Champions 2012 pay-per-view predictions. Now, before I start the prediction video, I just want to say that it looks as if Jerry King Lawler is doing a lot better since Monday night. I don't know true details as far as how he's doing, but from what I've read and from what I've heard, everything's looking up and up. And that's so great to hear because he suffered a heart attack on Monday night during Raw, and his health was really in question. But it looks as if everything's going great. So, with that being said, let's talk about Night of Champions. This is the one pay-per-view out of the whole year where every title is defended. I'm a true fan and a true believer that every title should be defended at every pay-per-view. But the WWE doesn't see it that way. They don't feel that way, and I think that's a real shame. But at least we do get this one pay-per-view where all titles are represented. And let's talk about the pre-show. Now, the pre-show consists of a battle royal for the #1 contendership for the U.S. title. Now, we don't even know who's going to be in this battle royal. I'm sure guys like Jack Swagger, maybe Zack Ryder, we could see Ryback, maybe Cody Rhodes, guys like that will definitely be included in this battle royal. But as far as who's going to win and take on Antonio Cesaro for the U.S. title, that's a big question mark right there. I'm just going to go out on the limb and I'm going to say that Zack Ryder, he will win the battle royal and then he will take on Antonio Cesaro. But you know what, when we actually get to the US title match at the Night of Champions where Cesaro takes on whoever wins this battle royal, the winner of the battle royal doesn't matter whatsoever because Antonio Cesaro, he will retain. It doesn't matter who he faces, he's going to retain. But I'm going to say that Zack Ryder's going to win and he's going to be the one that takes on Cesaro. And you know what? Cesaro will retain. He's going to beat whoever gets in his way. I'm picking Zack Ryder. If that happens, hell yeah to me. But it doesn't matter. Cesaro will retain the title. Now, what about the Intercontinental title? That will be on the line, or it should be at least. The Miz is the Intercontinental Champion. He came back after shooting his movie. And he's came back with a little bit of a different look. And he won the IC title, which is great. So he's relevant again. But he hasn't had any kind of focus whatsoever in the WWE since becoming the Intercontinental Champion. So I really am curious to know who he's facing because right now there's nobody. He doesn't have an opponent. But I'm sure they're going to just throw somebody in there. But yet again, it doesn't matter who they put in his way. The Miz will retain the IC title. It doesn't matter. I don't care who he faces. He will retain the title. And as far as guesses as to who he might face, well, that's a good one. Yet again, we could see maybe Ryback, maybe a Zack Ryder kind of wrestler. Somebody in the mid-card obviously will take on The Miz. Maybe Rey Mysterio again. I don't know. But it doesn't matter. The Miz will retain. All right, let's talk about the Divas Championship. LAYLA defending the title against KAITLYN. Now, the Divas division, we all know, is kind of a joke. It's been a joke for many, many years now. And LAYLA has been a decent champion, I guess. It's really hard to rate her as a champion because the WWE just doesn't care. So why should we care? It's hard to care about something when you know the WWE themselves don't even care. But KAITLYN and LAYLA battling for the title. I think they might flip the title off LAYLA and put it on KAITLYN. So I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that KAITLYN will win. And she will become the new Divas Champion. Okay, let's talk about the WWE Tag Team titles. R-Truth and Kofi Kingston going up against Kane and Daniel Bryan. That's right. Kane and Daniel Bryan became the #1 contenders when they defeated the Primetime Players. Now, I love the Primetime Players. I think that they should be the truthful and rightful #1 contenders to the tag team titles. But the WWE is really pushing this Kane and Daniel Bryan storyline so much that they decided to make them a tag team, and now all of a sudden they get to be #1 contenders for the tag team titles. I think that's a bit ridiculous. Don't get me wrong. I kind of like the Kane and Daniel Bryan feud that they're doing. It's been decent. It's been funny. It's been a little over the top at times, but to all of a sudden just throw them together as a tag team and then make them #1 contenders, that's a bit much, because the WWE has been doing good with redeveloping this tag team division. And when they just throw guys together like Kane and Daniel Bryan and then just make them #1 contenders, that's where they lose some of their prestige. You know, that's where the tag team division gets laughed at a little bit, because stuff like this. But I'm going to put it to you like this. You know, I don't think Truth and Kofi will lose the titles. I think we'll see some more Kane and Daniel Bryan shenanigans. I don't think they're going to win the titles. I hope they don't. But you know what? The WWE very well could have Kofi and Truth drop the titles to Kane and Daniel Bryan. And wouldn't it be funny, and wouldn't it be something, if Kane and Daniel Bryan actually ended up being a decent tag team? I mean, stranger things have happened, and I wouldn't be surprised if the WWE did put the titles on them, and then all of a sudden they become this badass tag team. You know, kind of like, I don't know, hell, put any tag team you want there. But it's funny to see guys like Kane and Daniel Bryan as a tag team, especially with their history and what they've been doing as of late. But anyways, you know, I'm just going to stick with Truth and Kofi retaining the titles, and that's that. Okay, next we have Randy Orton taking on Dolph Ziggler. And, you know, this is where Dolph Ziggler should walk in and win the match, because Dolph Ziggler is the one that has everything to lose. He's the Money in the Bank winner. He's the new up-and-coming rising star. You know, he's the one that's being developed. He's the one that's being groomed to carry the WWE for the next 10, 15 years. And Randy Orton, he has already done that. And he should be putting other guys over. But for some reason, I feel as if the WWE is going to have Orton go over Ziggler. I don't know why, but I just have that sick feeling in my stomach that that is what they are going to do. The WWE should, though, put Ziggler over. But I'm going to go ahead and pick Orton, even though I shouldn't. But Orton will probably go over, and that's how it's going to be. I would really be happy, though, if Dolph Ziggler beat the shit out of Orton and got the win. Of course, maybe, just maybe, if Ziggler does lose against Orton, maybe he'll actually cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase after the Sheamus and Del Rio match. And maybe he'll become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Who knows? Who knows? We'll have to wait and see. But I will pick Orton, even though I want Ziggler to win. Okay, speaking of the World Heavyweight Championship, that title is on the line as well. Sheamus defending the title against Alberto Del Rio. This has been a really good feud. They've been feuding for the last several months, and you know what? Eventually, Del Rio's going to have to get the big payoff, right? Because he's been losing each match against Sheamus, and, you know, if Sheamus just continues to win against Del Rio, it's kind of going to be pointless to have this whole feud to begin with, because eventually a feud has to go both ways. You know, the good guy wins, and then the bad guy wins, back and forth. But we haven't seen Del Rio get any kind of vindication or justification over Sheamus whatsoever. So you know what? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say that Del Rio is going to win. He's going to beat Sheamus, and he's going to become the new World Heavyweight Champion. Now, here's where it gets a little surprising, a little tricky. Okay, this is where Ziggler could quite possibly come in, cash in the Money in the Bank, and become the new World Heavyweight Champion right after Del Rio just wins it. Think back to when Del Rio did that to CM Punk at what, SummerSlam last year? See, CM Punk wins the match, and then Del Rio comes out and gets the cheap victory win by cashing in the Money in the Bank, and he wins the World Heavyweight Championship. Wow, look at how the tables have turned now. It'd be funny if that really did happen. I wouldn't be surprised if it did. But I'm going to pick Del Rio to win, and maybe we'll see a cash in with Ziggler, but who knows. All right, let's talk about the main event. And this better be the main event, goddammit, because we have John Cena in the match. So you know it should be the main event. But we have CM Punk defending the WWE Championship against John Cena. We all know that Night of Champions is in Massachusetts. It's John Cena's backyard. And, well, you know, wherever John Cena goes, the fans are always stuck right in the middle as far as liking and disliking John Cena. Even the hometown crowd dislikes John Cena. Of course, he has his fans everywhere, but he always has the people that dislike him no matter where he goes. So this is going to be interesting to hear what kind of reaction he gets, especially in Massachusetts. But, you know, John Cena and CM Punk should be a very good match. You know, I'm certainly hoping that CM Punk picks up the win because he has to. He has to get that 1-year title reign. He has to have the championship when he goes to the Royal Rumble to take on The Rock for the WWE title. He has to win. He has to keep on winning. And you know what? It better happen. CM Punk, he's been a great champion in my book. And what better way to really make him an awesome champion than by having him beat John Cena in his hometown. That would be the icing on the cake, no doubt. And speaking of this being the main event, you know, CM Punk has been the champion since Survivor Series 2011, and you know he's only main evented one pay-per-view since being champion, and that was December of 2011 at the TLC pay-per-view. It's a bit ridiculous if you ask me, but he's made it finally to the main event level again, even though he's been the champion for the last 10 months. And even if he has to have Cena to help him get to that main event level, that's fine. But it should be a damn good match, and with Paul Heyman being included in this mix now, there's no telling what could happen. You know, I said this before in a previous video. You know, I don't care what Punk has to do to retain the title. I don't care if he has to get help from Paul Heyman. I don't care if he has to get help from Brock Lesnar or whoever. But as long as he retains that title, that's all that matters. But that's it. Those are my predictions for the Night of Champions 2012 pay-per-view. This should be a decent little pay-per-view. I don't think it's going to be all that great, but, you know, it should be good at least. But let me run down the card one more time. We got the pre-show Battle Royal for the #1 contendership of the U.S. title. Then we'll have Cesaro defending that U.S. title against the winner of that. I'm picking Cesaro to retain. We have the IC title, Miz versus whoever, because they haven't picked anybody yet. But I'm gonna pick the Miz. We have the Divas title, Layla and KAITLYN. I'm picking KAITLYN to win the Divas title. I'm picking Truth and Kofi to retain the tag titles. I'm picking Orton over Ziggler. I'm picking Del Rio over Sheamus with the possible Ziggler cash-in. And then, of course, I'm picking CM Punk over John Cena. But that's it for now. Let me know your predictions in the comments below. I am goldizzy. Peace out, everybody.